Okay, Valen, here are your videos from the Judges Cup a week ago. I'm going to play these at normal speed, and then I'll go back and pick them apart, looking at them in slow motion and show you some illustrations and make some suggestions for improvements. Okay, I don't think you had bad meat, big guy. You know, there were some mistakes that were made that we need to take care of, but I was pretty pleased with how you performed. So, as your first level 5, I thought this was a pretty good meet. Here we go, starting on floor exercise.
Good job.
Okay, Val, that was a pretty sweet start. Let's back this up and look at it piece by piece. I'm going to let this go slow motion here so we can kind of look at the pieces. Real aggressive run to your dive roll. Good hurdle step, good arm swing. Your head's already going down here, though. I want you to keep that head and chest up as you're rising towards the top. See how your head is down a little bit here? And you're going forward a little bit also. We want this to go up and down and not so much forward. Let's see how close you land to the handstand. You're already falling. Pretty darn close. That looks pretty darn good. I like it. The legs are still together and your hips are over your hands. Can't ask for much better than that. Let's go ahead and roll it on through. Pretty good rolling action. A little bit of whiplash going on. Not too bad though. All right, here I want you to stand all the way up before stepping, okay, or as you step, but you want to show complete extension from your back foot to your hands in the stand, okay? That could be a little bit better. Good position here. That's terrific, okay? That's a great lunge and nice long extended body into the step, into the cartwheel, okay? Good cartwheel here. Okay, still dropping your foot down. See how you're bent over at your waist and your hands are down and your foot has touched already. We don't want that. Okay, we've been talking about that. We need to make that correction. Then you're standing up and you're bending forward and downward instead of keeping those hands up as you sit back into your backward roll. This is going to result in a lack of power or less power than you could have generated if you sat backward. However, you were able to do a backward roll handstand here with straight arms. So that's saying something. You got a little bit of arch in your back there, but you know that was pretty good in light of the fact that you leaned forward to go into your backward roll. Okay. We could do this a little bit better though by staying nice and curled up into the handstand. Okay. Later on in level 7, I believe it is, you'll have to do a backward roll handstand into a blind change. And if you're arched like this on the way up, you're not going to be able to do a blind change. So that's something that'll have to be corrected. Drop to the front support, looks good. Head back, nice timing on that. Really good extension on that backward roll. Nice straight legs into the straddle stand. Good position here. And here, I really like this. I like the head and the chest up, arms out. That's a beautiful straddle stand. Hands down. And about this looked really good, except it was really fast. Okay, the head's popped out just a little bit, but you got pretty much a straight line from your hands to your hips here, which is good. Okay, and your feet are wide. But then you just really zoom those legs up to the handstand. You're supposed to show this with control. So don't be in such a rush. to get up to the handstand. Okay? Even in slow-mo, that looks fast. Okay? And then no hold. Okay? You need a 2-second hold if you want to get virtuosity for your press to your handstand. You got the 5/10 for the press, but you didn't get the 2/10 for holding. Okay? And the pike down, that looks pretty good. A little bit of bent knees there, maybe a 10th deduction on the knees bending. Okay, and here I've got an old bone to pick with you. Good run, good extension on your skip step. This is nice. And the same old problem we've been talking about here. You got that peg leg on the foot that's stepping into the front handspring, and you're going to go airborne here before you touch your hands. So you're leaving the floor now, and your hands are still a foot off the floor. Okay, so looks like you're going for a forward aerial instead of a front handspring. Okay, and your foot's off the floor, your hands still haven't touched. Now your hands are touching. Okay, we don't want to fly between the feet and the hands. That's going to reduce the power that you get on your front handspring. Okay, and you're pulling your head forward like that because you're running out of gas on this thing. Okay, I want you to keep the hands and the head back and keep that foot on the floor until your hands are touching on that front handspring. Okay, the rebound here is a straight body rebound, not a tuck position. So they're going to hit you for this bending of the legs here, probably 2 or 3/10. Good landing though afterwards. Then you step to your handstand. This looks terrific. Really nice alignment going up. Good tall handstand. Head's popped out just a little bit, but the shoulders are pretty extended. This is improved. I still want that head to be in. Nice full pirouette. Perfectly 360 degrees. Good roll. Okay, and pretty good chasse. The hands are up. I'd like your hands to be out to the side here, even with your ears instead of way up in the air like that. You've got a 90-degree angle here. If you can get that front leg a little more forward and show a split in front, you're going to get virtuosity. I don't think they're going to give it to you on this one, however. Even though it was a nice song, it didn't meet the criteria for virtuosity. Okay, you run for your dismount. Good powerful run again and skip step. This looks pretty good. Good round off. Push through your hands. Make sure that your hips go up away from your hands here. Don't lift your head. Hollow and keep your head still. Okay? And you'll land in the power position instead of here. See how your chest is down here? When you land, you should have your knees over your feet. Your hips should be behind your feet, and your shoulders should be over your hips. Okay? And we're not doing that here. Okay? This results in you having to buckle your knees forward and a loss of power, and so we couldn't do a second back handspring here. Okay? A little tiny hop there on the landing, so I don't think they're going to give you the stick for that. Probably a 10th deduction on the little hop. So what did I have? I had, let's see, I gave you the bonus for the backward roll extension, 1/10. I gave you the bonus for the press handstand. You didn't get virtuosity though because you didn't hold it for 2 seconds. I took 1/10 off on the pike down. You leapt off of your foot going into the front handspring. I deduct 3/10 on that. It's not a 1/10 break, it's a 3/10 break. You did a tucked rebound, which I would hit 3/10 for. You got your full bonus for your step handstand full pirouette. No problems on that. Your sisson, your arms were in a slightly improper position. I would hit you 1/10 on that. On your round off back handspring, I'd hit you 2/10 for the landing position. You're not being in the power position and kind of rolling the knees forward on the back handspring. And then you didn't stick the dismount, so I didn't give you the stick. I actually hit you 1/10 for the landing. So all that adds up to a start value of 10.6 with the 2 bonuses and the 1 virtuosity bonus. And I had 1.2 in deduction, so I had a 9.5. The judges at the meet gave you a 10.0, so they were a little bit kinder than me. I'm not real sure where they gave it to you. Probably maybe 1/10 on the back handspring. They might have given you the stick. I'm not real sure. They might not have hit you for the leap off of the front handspring. That's something that a lot of judges miss, but people who are real good tumblers will not miss that. So anyway, that was a pretty good set. Let's look at the pieces here. The dive roll, we want to go a little higher and keep your head up. Keep lifting those heels all the way to the handstand. Roll out, stand up as you step. Make sure your body is completely extended here before you go into the cartwheel. Do your cartwheel and stand up at the end of the cartwheel. Don't be bent over at your waist. Okay, backward roll extension. Let's get that hollow all the way up into the handstand. Okay, get rid of the arch and do it with straight arms. I love the straight arms. That got your virtuosity. Really nice front support. A good straddle stand sequence. A little rushed on the press, but good body shape and all during the press. The head's still up a little bit more than I would like, but it was a nice press handstand. Pike down, you did a little tuck. Front handspring, we leapt off of the foot. Going into the front handspring, we tucked. That straight jump, it's supposed to be a straight jump. Handstand full pirouette, looked terrific. Loved it. Forward roll out, Saison looked good. Let's go outside with the arms instead of up. Turn was good. Run, hurdle step, round off. Hit that power position right here. That's what we're looking for, so that you can accelerate into the back handspring. That'll give you enough power to put in that second back handspring to get that bonus. And then a nice strong rebound to a stick. Okay? So, that's floor. Let's go back to our video. And let's go to our next event, which is mushroom.
Okay. Good job.
Stop bouncing.
Okay, Valen, that was a pretty good mushroom routine. Okay, one of the best I've seen you do. Let's look at it. Let's break it down a little bit. We're losing a good bit in form on your circles, and you had one missing piece in this routine. I want to make sure I point that out. So let's look at this real carefully and talk about it. Your first requirement is that you do one circle. So let's see how that goes. Part one is your first circle. And there it is. And you had a 3/10 break on that circle. Look at these legs here. Okay. Some might hit that 1/10, some might hit that 3/10. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to say they're going to hit you 3/10 there. The average would be, 2/10 if you had two judges probably. Okay, so that's the end of your first circle. The second piece that's in this routine is one additional circle. Okay, so let's see that second circle. Okay, same leg form there. Okay, another 1 or 3/10. So let's say 2 again. Okay, a little bit piked on the back of the circle here. We want to be arched instead. We don't want the rear end stuck up like that. Okay, and the only way to get this done is to get you to work a lot on loops and back loops and circles on the floor pommel horse. Okay, or on the low mushroom. We got to get those feet up here even with the hands. Okay, and then you won't have those deductions. Okay, let's go on. The next piece that's in the routine is 2 additional circles that gives you bonus. Okay, if you do 2 more circles, you get 5/10 bonus. So here's the first of those, and we've got a little bit of piking going on in the circles, and your knees are bent and your hips are turned away from facing the front of the horse. They're going to hit you 3/10 on that, and maybe a 1/10 on that one. Okay, so you got the 5/10, but you lost 4/10 in the form on those two circles. Okay, and now we should be starting our spindle. Okay, but you did one more circle. Okay, that's an extra swing, and you broke form on it also. Okay, so the extra swing, they're going to hit you 3/10 for the extra circle, and you lost form as well, probably 2/10. Let's look back at this a little bit. See what the you got your left knee bent and your legs are split. Probably some are going to hit you 1, some are going to hit you 3. So let's say 2/10 on that. Okay, and now you're starting your spindle, quarter turn, and your leg broke on that. Okay, the same spot that they've been breaking. That left knee is flexing. Okay, and they're going to hit you for that. We've got to open those circles up. We'll do that with the low floor horse, the low mushroom, and the floor horse, and also by putting the bean bag back on the mushroom and have you practice that some more. And here's the next quarter turn. This one was a little cleaner, maybe slight knee bend there. Okay, 1/10. And now you're supposed to do one circle before the dismount. So you finish the spindle right here. We're supposed to do one more circle and then the dismount, but you left that circle out. Okay, and that missing piece is a 5/10 deduction. Okay, so you had an extra circle and a missing circle, and those don't trade out. Okay, if you put them in there in the wrong order, they're going to cost you. Okay, you did stick the dismount, so you're going to get the 2/10 for the bonus for sticking your dismount. And you had 2 bonus pieces, the 2 extra circles and the spindle, get you 1.0 in bonus for those 2 parts, 2/10 more for the stick. So you had a starting value of 10.7, but you had a missing element that was that last circle before the dismount. That's 5/10 deduction. That brings you down to 10.2. And then you had probably about 1.0, I figure, maybe a little bit more, in deductions. Okay, so I had you 9.2 when I scored it. The judge, Dean, actually was a little bit more generous. He gave you a 9.6. So those are the things that we have to work on. We have to make sure that you know that routine, and we don't want that extra circle before your spindle, and we don't want to eliminate the circle after the spindle, between the spindle and the dismount. And if you are to add flares, I know you're working flares, you want to do the flares, 2 of them, immediately after the spindle. So you do spindle, flare, flare, 1 circle, and the dismount. Okay? Hope that helps, big guy. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to full speed to rings here. Okay, good lift. Good support. 1001, 1002. Ooh, that was a little close. Good drop back. Back lever, 1001. I think that was a little short too, and you weren't quite completely extended. Back swing, back swing, back swing, dismount. Had a little peg leg on the landing there, but you stuck it. Okay? So let's look back at that, pull that back a little bit, and talk about the pieces here. Okay? First of all, we know one of the judges told us that the judges are looking at this muscle up real carefully. I don't know why they're looking at it so carefully when we're not attempting the muscle up without a spot, but they appear to be. So in the muscle up, you're allowed to get your false grip. And after getting your false grip, you're supposed to extend your elbows and your shoulders and hang down in an extended fashion, not in half of a pull-up as you have it here. Okay? So we need to hang down, and then Marcus can grab your ankles and help you do the muscle up. Or you can do the muscle up on your own. But we need to have those arms extended more. Okay? So from here, do the muscle up, see if you keep balanced. You do. That was a really good muscle up with an assist. You didn't do one arm and then the other. Now we need to show this position, the full support with the head up, the chest up, and the hips straight, and the rings should be turned out. Okay? Looks to me like the rings are touching your form pants, so your rings are not turned out, and they'll hit you 3/10 on that. Okay? So we need to keep that in mind when we work on that full support position. Then you need to keep the rings turned out when you go to your L-sit, and this is a beautiful L-sit, Val. Really nice form, good angle, the head is up, the chest is up, I can see your neck. This is a beautiful L-sit, except that your rings are not turned out as much as I'd like them to be turned out. Okay, if you could do that, there would be no deduction at all on this. Okay, this looks beautiful, but I think they're going to hit you at least 1/10, maybe 3/10 on the hand position. Okay, then you lowered your legs and dropped back to your pike inverted hang. Again, I'm going a frame at a time on this, so it's really slow. Your feet are pointing down towards the floor here. You want them horizontal, okay, pointing at the back wall, not pointing down at the floor, okay? But you do have a really nice, tight pike inverted hang here, okay? See what happens on this opening to the back lever. It's a little bit short, and you're not quite in the position. You're really curled here and your head is down. Okay, that's not really a back lever. Okay, and I'm not sure they're going to give you credit for this. Even though you held it for about 1.5 seconds, it's not in the proper position. So you may not be getting the bonus for this. Okay, after this you lowered to your German, and your German hang is awesome. Of course, you've got super extension here, and they're definitely going to give you virtuosity for this. Pulling back out of this, very nice position here. Now on this cast, we need your shoulders and your hips and your feet to go straight up the straps on the cast. What you're doing is you're letting your hips fall out in front of your shoulders, and now you're pulling with your arms, but it's too late. You're not going to go up now, okay? So you're not going to get the casting action that they're looking for, and they're probably going to hit you 3/10 on this, okay? We're still continuing to work on this turnover on both sides and the pulling action, but you guys are having some difficulty on it right now. So let's look at your backswing. There's the end of your backswing right there, and your feet are below your shoulders, which means you're not meeting the minimum requirements here, and your head is up, and your hands appear to be in the same position that you'd be in if you were on high bar, okay? Well, that's a problem. They're going to hit you for that. You have to have those hands turned to the outside, and your head should be down. And by turning the hands to the outside and putting your head down, your heels will swing higher, okay? So not only will you help yourself swing higher by turning the hands out and putting your head down, but you'll not be deducted for those errors in positioning, okay? Let's go on to your forward swing. On your forward swing, pretty good tap swing, but you're not turning upside down far enough. You need to get into that open basket position with your feet and your hips above your shoulders. And you should be pulling with your arms so that your shoulders rise, okay? That's what they call turnover, and you're not showing that. They're going to hit you, probably 2 to 3/10 on this, okay? So here's another backswing. Hand position again is wrong. Head is still up. The feet are higher this time, but they're going to hit you for the hands in the head position. Turnover, no turnover. Okay, that is not the turnover. They're going to hit you 2/10 on that again. And the last backswing. Okay, higher with the feet. The head is still up. The hands are still in the wrong position. And now your flyaway. Okay. On the flyaway, as you swing up, you should be showing this turnover position again, but with bent knees. The shoulders, the hips, the knees, and the feet should all be rising up the straps of the rings. You want your shoulders to be up there between the rings. You certainly don't want your knees and your hips to be going through your arms like this, okay? When you do that, they call that a tucked skin the cat, and they do not give you the tuck flyaway. It'll be a 5/10 deduction for not doing the skill. Okay, so this is a serious deduction. And you should try to open that tuck back, just like you'd open a tuck back on the tumble track, before you get to the floor. And you're not doing that, you're riding it. Well, actually, this is not too bad. You're opening up. Feet are apart, however, which is a problem. A little bit stiff on your landing. You're bending over at your waist. You don't want to do that. You want to bend your knees instead and try to keep your chest upright a little bit more than this. Okay? Okay, you got the stick on the landing, but boy, you did it the hard way, man. It's very easy to have to take a big step or put your hands down when you have stiff legs like that. Okay? So let's look at the ring illustrations and talk about these pieces a little bit. Okay? Again, once you're lifted, you want to have your arms pretty much straight as you're hanging down, and then you do the muscle up. Okay? If you can do it without a spot, you're going to get that 5/10 bonus, and you're pretty close to that, I believe. Okay? Then you want a full support with your hands turned out. Look at the hand position here. Okay? The hands here, I'm going to zoom in on this. Oops, I can't. Yeah, I can too. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, look at that hand position. Okay, the wrists are turned out so that it looks like they're, on parallel bars. Okay, and that's really what we want to do here. Okay, and when you do your L-sit, the same thing. Keep those rings turned forward. Don't let them touch your legs. Okay, in both the full support and in the L-sit. Okay, so let me come back out. Okay, and let's see, we drop back the pike inverted hang. This is your back lever position. Let's come in a little bit tighter on that so you can see what that's supposed to look like. Okay. This is your back lever. The head should be up, the back should be straight, the feet, hips, and shoulders should all be on the same line. Okay? Yours is more like feet here, and your back is kind of hunched up here, and then your head is down here. So you've got everything kind of on different levels, and that's not what we're looking for. If you really want to get that 5/10 for that back lever, we need a good open shape on that. Okay? Let's see. Let's come back. Okay. Here's the casting action. This is what it should be looking like. You're in your pike, and you want the whole body to go up the rings, up the straps as you cast. And then you extend out in front and pull the rings behind you. Okay? See how the shoulders are the same height as the rings here? And the hips and the feet are above the shoulders. That's what we're looking for on that casting action. And your backswing, we want to get, let's see, the end of the backswing. I guess the minimum requirement for the backswing is 45 degrees, and I guess you got that, okay? But this is your forward swing position that we're looking for, with the hips and the feet up here turned over, kind of like you're doing an undershoot on high bar. Okay, here's your backswing again. We want to get above horizontal if you want to get virtuosity. That is, your feet need to be higher than your shoulders. Same thing again on the next backswing. And then here's what your flyaway is supposed to look like. Look at this, okay? You want those shoulders to rise so they're the same height as the rings, and everything else is above your shoulders, okay? And you want to open before you get horizontal. This is horizontal, okay? Your shoulders and your hips and your feet, you want to be stretched out like that before you hit the floor, and stick if you can. Okay? So let's go back to the video and let's go to the next event. Let me pause that. I'm going to come back for just a moment and talk about the rings for a second, because this is a routine, Val, that you're losing a lot on right now. Okay, we don't have a muscle up. Okay, if you get the muscle up, that's going to add 5/10. If you work just a little bit harder for that back lever and get that shape straightened out, you're going to add 5/10. If we can get rid, that's 1.0 so far that we could add with the muscle up and the back lever. You could add 3/10 as well by turning out your hands on the rings when you're in your L sit. And then if we can just work on the forward swings and the backward swings and get those up nice and high on both sides, and then use that same technique for your forward swing on your flyaway, and you're going to, I mean, we're talking about right now you're losing about 1.8 on your swings and your flyaway. Okay, so we really need to focus on those items and get those to start rising on both sides. Again, on the backswing, head down, hands turned out. Okay, that will get you the backswing requirement that you need. And you've got to get the feet and the hips above your shoulders on the front swings and be pulling out with those rings like the drills that we worked on last time, and then use that same technique when you do that flyaway. Okay, so let's go on back to vaulting. Okay, that was a pretty darn good vault. Let me back that up a little bit. Take a look at it again. This time a little bit slow-mo. Okay, your arm swings look pretty good. Your hurdle step, there's your last step right there, and it's a long way to the vaulting board. That is a terrific hurdle. And your feet are in front of your hips. The only fault I've got with this, Val, is look at your arms. You've got your hands up in the air, so there's no arm circle, either the arm drag or the arm circle going on. You got your hands up just like you do in a skip step for a round off. We want those hands back so that they're coming upward as you're bouncing off of that board. So we've got to work on this. I don't know if you're doing the same thing on your dive row or not. I suspect you probably are. Your dive row will be higher, your front summies will be higher if you start learning to use this arm action that we've been working on off of the mini tramp. Okay? We need that arm swing, the forward arm swing, combined with the leg action. Okay? This looks pretty good. You're touching your knees here as you're inverted, and that is a good thing. Your feet look like they're a little bit flat. You could point your toes through the top. That would help. Okay? You're halfway finished with the rotation, and you're beginning to fall now. That's super. Opening up with the arms. I like the arms out like that. Feet slightly in front of you as you land and absorbing. But then you took a big hop. Okay, that big hop cost you about 5/10 on the landing probably. Okay, but not a bad vault. Okay, so let's go to our next event, which is parallel bars. I'm going to let this run. Good long swings. These are a little low. And then this was a big mistake. Okay, something we've got to work on. 3 back swings, 1, 2, and the third swing to the handstand, but there was no handstand. Okay, so let's talk about this, all right? Look at the routine here in slow-mo. Okay, and we'll talk about it as we go. Okay, nice extension, a little bit of leg form. I saw them separate for just a moment right in here. Okay, maybe a 1/10. Okay, good tap swing forward, but we want to pull back with our arms and try to show a little turnover if you can on this, just like you do on an undershoot. Okay, on high bar. Back swing looks good. Okay, pretty good extension. Your shoulders are as high as the bars and your hips are pretty close. Good tap swing forward again. Feet, hips are almost as high as the bars. We want to get the hips and the shoulders up there bar height if we can, or above. Okay? Here's your last backswing, the uprise. Okay? Now on this, your shoulders are above and your hips are close again. Form is good. This all looks pretty good. Okay? Here you're swinging forward, but you're piking. Can you see this piking action here? You're leaving your hips down. Only your legs are swinging. Your hips are not swinging very much. Make sure that you lift toes and hips on this forward swing and your upper arm support. We need to work more upper arm support, it looks like. Some of the other boys are having the same problem. And now on the backward swing, okay, also your shoulders are in front of your elbows here. That puts you in a very, very weak position, okay, especially for front uprises, which is coming next, okay? Here's your backswing, bending your knees a little bit, right through here. Okay, and that shows up. They're going to hit you for that. Somebody will hit you 1/10, somebody will hit you 3. Okay, we want to be above the rails on that second upper arm swing backward. Okay, or the upper arm swing backward is actually the first upper arm swing backward. Now we're going to swing forward to the baby front uprise or the front uprise. Again, look how sinking you are here in the shoulders. This puts you in a really weak position, okay? We want your shoulders behind your elbows, and this won't happen, okay? Big pike on the way up, using your legs to get up, and that's what that baby front uprise is all about. But, you know, if we can get just a little bit stronger in the shoulders, Val, you got plenty of swing to do this. This front uprise, and that would get you the 5/10. Okay, now once you get to this point, this is where you blew it. Okay, you did the same thing here in this routine that you used to do in the level 4 routine, which is to lift to your V set from this position. Well, you don't do that. Okay, in this routine at level 5, this is what you do. You do the front uprise to here, or the baby front uprise to here, and then after that you swing backwards and then you swing forward to an L or the V or the manna. Okay, you do not lift from your straddled support position here right to your V. Okay, so you eliminated that backward swing, forward swing skill, and they probably hit you 5/10 for eliminating an element. Okay, so that's something we've got to fix. Okay, on your V set, by the way, your feet were slightly separated. You held it long enough, the position looked great, but you're not putting your feet all the way together. Probably hit you 1/10, maybe 2/10 for that on average. Okay, and I want to start working on that the manna again. Valen, I think that you're quite capable of doing that. It might take us a couple of gymnastics meets before we're ready to use it, but we need to go back and start working on that, because that's a huge element. There's not going to be too many kids in this meet that are level 5s that'll be doing that, and I think you're really capable of doing that. Okay, so after the L, you take 3 swings. Okay, so here's the L. Now you swing backward from the L. There's your first swing. You swing forward. You swing backward. Here's your second swing. If you're really good, you can go to the handstand on that one, and you get virtuosity if you do a nominal handstand on that particular swing. Okay, then you swing forward and you swing backward. This time when you swing backward, if you can go to the handstand and hold it for 2 seconds, you get the bonus worth 5/10. But you have to hold the handstand for 2 seconds. You can't just swing to a nominal handstand and dismount. They won't give you the bonus for that. Okay, so that's got to be that. You've got to click that out with your heart over your hands and hold that baby, and then shift your weight over and do the dismount. So that's P-bars from the illustrations. Let's go ahead and look at this here. Here is your V. And went straight up to it without swinging backwards and then forwards, and your feet were not quite together. Bent your knees on that swing, slightly again on that swing, and you bent your knees on that swing. You need to keep those knees straight and get your weight forward. And one more thing on this, Val. Let's come back to this. I've been telling you guys, you know, to sink in your shoulders when you swing. Okay? These are some of those swings. Okay? Forward. And you're not sunk in your shoulders. If you sink in your shoulders, your ears will almost touch your shoulders right here. The ears will come down here. And if you do that, it makes it very, very easy for you to swing forward to that crab and backward to the handstand. You've got too much tension in your shoulders here, and we've got to eliminate that if you really want to swing big. Okay? I know it's a little scary because it's new to you guys, but it will really make a lot of difference in your P-bar swing. Okay, so let's go on to horizontal bar and talk about high bar. High bar set was pretty good, but you had a couple of extra swings in there, which hurt. Beautiful pullover, excellent form, cast to horizontal, back hip circle, not a free hip circle, piked undershoot. Okay, now we've already had an extra swing. Let's pull this back and look at it one more time. You separated your feet there when you jumped to a support too. You lost a tenth on that. So here we go. Cast, back hip circle. We want a free hip circle. Now we need half turn. You didn't do a half turn. You did an extra swing, then you did the half turn. Good change. Kip, we lost about 3/10 on that kip. Undershoot, tap swing, no baby giant. One swing backward, two swing backwards. Sorry, that was your third swing backward. So you didn't have an extra swing on that one after all. Okay, but you know, we're missing a lot of bonus pieces here. You have a since you stuck your dismount, you have a 9-7 start value on this routine because you only got the 2/10 bonus for the stick. Okay, a free hip circle would add 5/10, and you're capable of doing that. A kip immediate cast would add 5/10, a baby giant would add 5/10, and a flyaway would add 5/10. So bonuses that we're missing right now add up to 2.0 right now. And as I said, you had an extra swing in here. That's a 5/10 deduction for an extra swing. Had a few little problems with form on the swing half turn. Your legs split. You lost 3/10 on that. On your kip, you lost about 3/10. But by and large, the rest of it was pretty decent. You're piking a little bit on the undershoots. We need to keep the hips tight and your arms straight as you turn back on your undershoots. Make them feel more like free hip circles. And heck, you know, if we do all that, we're going to have 2.5 points that we can add to our horizontal bar routine, Valen. So high bar is going to be a biggie. Rings seem to be a biggie. You know, we can make a lot of progress on those two events just by making some bonus changes and taking out extra swings and changing our technique a little bit on swings, particularly on rings. So that's what we're going to work on in the coming 2 weeks. And I wanted to tell you, I think you did a good job. You know, first meet is a level 5. You know, working out there with the big boys, I'm real proud of you. I think you did a good job, big guy.